I get a feeling, let's call it a feeling, that some people, despite me using a very popular Latin word for my channel, meliora, people still get confused. Even though like when we're talking about a same name of Parfums de Marly perfume, like I haven't really heard a lot of people struggling to pronounce it, so I just want to like set the record straight. The name of my channel is Meliora Maria, or Maria Meliora, whichever way you prefer to put those words together. Meliora is a Latin word that, when it comes first, means like more, better. It's like basically an indication of striving for something, for perfectionism if you wish, for better, for more, for extra. So Meliora Maria is kind of like a better version of me if you wish. If any of you are curious of why this channel name came about, this is how. And I also kind of like the MM part of it. So it is rather simple. There's like no secrets of pronunciation there. It's Meliora, 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 Meliora. So it's not Miriola, it's not Mariola, it's not Moliora, it's Meliora. Okay?
Hi friends, I'm Maria Meliora and I welcome you to my channel. Yes, the preface is that I did tell you guys that I was on a no-buy year. I started it in the middle of October and I was fairly successful up until I actually went on a very extensive travel when I just could not leave off the same clothing for more than 2 months, and I started buying new clothing. That prompted me to change the rules a little bit when it comes to the fashion part of my life. But with perfumes, I was pretty good. I was pretty good with my no-buy, I would say, until like the end of February, when there's like a lot of stressful events, and then we all know like in March and April, all the quarantines, and actually I had to move, and I was moving between places. I was doing a lot of sort of organizational logistics. I'm now self-employed. It's like there's so many things that kind of like just piled on top of each other that eventually made me cheat on my no-buy rules. And I like told you all about the schemes that my brain came up with so I could still sort of stay within the rules of no-buy, but still kind of like started buying new perfumes, or at least trying new scents. You can see the previous 2 editions of that kind of like cheat haul when I was talking about the designer perfumes, sort of a more affordable area of perfumery. Here we're gonna assess the damage that I've done when it comes to exquisite, sophisticated, niche, very rare designer and hyperluxe. So that said, let's get going. As many of you know, one of my tricks of how to try more perfumes and spend less money is that I seek heavily discounted bath and body products by the perfume houses. So here are a few examples. The Memo Paris, it's a very expensive, we're talking about 270 euros per bottle, expensive French niche, or you know, if you're coming from a French school of pronunciation, niche perfume house. And I do own 2 of their bottles. One of them I absolutely love, another one I'm just severely disappointed in. So that kind of like got me thinking that I don't want to blind buy Memo anymore. Unfortunately, they don't really have a wide variety of their perfumes sold as 10 milliliter sort of travel sizes in the United States. And in the United States, they tend to cost twice as much as they do in Europe, so it's something for you to keep in mind. But I got a bunch of their perfumes in the form of a body lotion on eBay. You have to kind of hunt it down, like it depends on the seller that you find, and yada yada yada. So it seemed perfectly authentic, and also I don't see much of a need to fake the body products by perfume houses. So this gives me hope that this is actually authentic. You know that buying very expensive perfumes, be it Tom Ford, Kilian, Memo Paris is another one that's very often being counterfeit. And sold, a lot of fakes sold online from non-authorized sellers. So I will be making kind of notes about that, fakery aspects of it as much as I can if I have any information for you to share. So Memo Paris is frequently faked. There is a real danger of finding these perfumes that are not authentic online. So I decided to go for a body lotion. By all rational reasoning, I don't see any point of this being a fake. Maybe that's just optimistic thinking, but whatever. So it comes with a pump, which I like. You get a 250 ml for I would say, how much did I pay? Maybe $35, something of that range. And the next one I'm eyeing after I am done with these, again, because I can do replacements on my no-buy year. Next on my list of replacements, once I'm done with these, the ones that I'm going to show you, I'm thinking of buying some Amouage body lotions. Because those babies, first of all, are under new management. The Amouage, like the infamous European/Arabian perfume house, they are really powerful, very sophisticated, very deep, but really, really powerful. So if you're looking for like a beast mode type of perfumes, Amouage is your house. But I'm very afraid that they will reformulate them or cheapen them in some fashion under the new management, because they did announce that they are looking to bring Amouage on the mass market, or sort of like a wider market, which scares me to death. I feel like Amouage is kind of pulling my leg with these announcements, because on one hand, I really need to slow down with purchasing or replacing, because I have like so many body creams at this point, like I'm done for probably the rest of the year. But like I'm really afraid that they will reformulate their fragrances. We'll see. Anyway, so I got how do I get on those rants? Like I never know what starts what. Anyway, French leather, one of the best sellers by Memo Paris. I must say the body cream aspect of the French leather by Memo is fine. It doesn't do any magic when it comes to actually moisturizing the skin, but it's good enough, especially comparatively to something I'm going to show you later. But I'm not sure. I don't think that the perfume actually was faithfully reproduced in this formulation. So I'm sad to say I'm still confused about the fragrance itself. A friend of mine, Olda Bar, who is also a blogger here on YouTube, and she's very famous on Instagram, she sent me a decant, I think, like a small sample of the French leather. I just need to find it. I feel like I still don't have a good impression of French leather, what it really represents, but so far it's kind of like a rose, warm, obviously leathery rose perfume. I can't really say that it's that unique that I would hunt it down and actually buy it from Memo. I must say that the other leathers from them I'm more interested in, and that brings me to a great meetup that I had in New York with my subscribers, and one of them, Andre, just for the gag of it, gave me a gift of a fake African leather by Memo Paris. So the fake that Andre gave me as a gift is called African leather. Again, we both know it's a fake. It was an honest mistake that he made. He bought something online and later on he tried it in a department store, and like there was a world of difference between them. However, I liked the fake. It's obviously much simpler. It's one of those, in a way, it actually smells rather similar to Midnight Amber by Oscar de la Renta that costs like $20 for 100 ml, or Elizabeth Arden Fifth Avenue Royale, the black flanker. So it's a kind of these like dark rum plus some like cherry liquor, like a dark smoky gourmand, but like on a cheap profile side. There is no depth to it, there is no much of a longevity, it's just pleasant. So oddly enough, I liked it well enough that I took it, and I also wanted to compare the fake with the original. It's a different perfume. So I own Quartier Latin by Memo Paris, and when I started looking at them, you'll be pressed to find any like considerable differences. The metal panels the lids, everything, like maybe if you compare them exactly side by side, and even more so if you compare side by side the perfume itself, the juice inside of it, you will be able to tell a difference. But largely speaking, just by looking at the bottle, not really. It has everything. It has the stickers, it has a batch code, it has like the whole shebang. If I did know any better, I would have told you that that was a original bottle. Alas, it is not, but it was kind of funny. And as I was like on a kick of kind of repeating the same action, which was clearly wrong, replacing a body lotion that I ran out of, I bought one, then another one, then I bought another one, then I bought another one, and etc. When I saw this, I just couldn't resist, but at that point, I knew there was something wrong with my replacement strategy. So this is Houbigant, which at this point, it's a historic perfume house, but it's so rare and hard to find that I think it's at this point can be called niche. They have a number of perfumes. I don't know what's going on with ownership of that perfume house, because it seems like it's been continuously struggling over the decades, and some of their fragrances are truly masterpieces. The fragrances that kind of like set the scene for generations of perfumes to come. But they are either too very cheap and you can find them in random online outlets, or they're too expensive and impossible to get without, I don't know, robbing a bank or something. So it's very inconsistent when it comes to Houbigant. But the one that I found this body lotion by Houbigant that is the fragrance called Quelques Roses. This is the first time I hear of a flanker. They have Quelques Fleurs, original, and I think a modern version, and they have Royale version. But Quelques Roses, this is the first time I hear of it. So I ordered it online. It was heavily discounted. The original price was, I think, like $80. I got it, I want to say, for again like something around $30, and it was beautifully packaged. I wish you could just touch the packaging so you could appreciate just how luxury does it feel, especially in contrast to the previous one, which is just it's just plastic. The French leather Memo Paris it's very utilitarian. I appreciate that, but you know, it's not. It doesn't really hit me as luxury at all. And considering the regional Memo Paris prices, there's a lot left to be desired there. The Quelques Roses, oh my god, the velvety, I don't know how they made this paper with all of the three-dimensional roses on it. It's just stunning. The inside is colored, even like this cardboard is colored. The glass is a work of art. Oh my god, it's not only because it's glass and it's just a body lotion, and it actually comes with a pump on the side, which I really appreciate, and this kind of the lid, as you can see it here. The lid is heavy, the bottle is made of glass, and it's matte and it's slightly rubberized. It's such a heavenly tactile feeling. It's very hard to describe. Some makeup packaging is like that, but it's like just so softly, delicately rubberized. At first I couldn't even tell, is it glass or is it plastic, because it was so plush to the touch. Anyway, I was blown away by the quality of the Houbigant packaging here. So if you're looking for something that is truly gift-worthy, something that screams luxury, but something that you may find for discounted prices online, look for new, kind of like unused Houbigant products. So when it comes to the Quelques Roses itself by Houbigant, I just put it a little bit on my hand. First of all, the sort of functional properties of the body lotion, I would say are nah. It's very watery, but what I can tell you, it's truly a perfumed lotion. Make no mistake, you will have a very strong and long-lasting scent. Like if you get out of the shower and you apply it all over your body, you don't need to use a perfume for at least like 2 hours. if we compare the scent itself, Quelques Roses by Houbigant is a musky, a little bit of sour rose put on top of that typical kind of very juicy, very bright, very lively, with great projection floral base that Houbigant is famous for. I do like it, I don't love it. I actually am thinking about the original Quelques Fleurs. I had a teeny tiny sample of that. Why am I putting it in the box? But I was not sure because those flowers were so pungent that I was not sure if I could really pull it off. The Quelques Roses is like highbrow, kind of like floral musky rose scent. It's noticeable, it's interesting, it's a unique take on a musky rose. Like if you're thinking about musky roses, there are like a bunch, there are so many. One of the ones that is truly affordable is Burberry Body. That is a typical kind of wet, a little bit, it's kind of like water flowers with rose with the musk. And the Burberry Body, I would say, is a very wearable musky rose. Like I had one for a long time. I eventually kind of panned it. I had like a huge bottle, like 120 ml or something. But it's not as sophisticated, but that's what makes it very everyday wearable. The Quelques Roses by Houbigant is not as easy. To my mind, here you can definitely tell the quality of the make, even in the body lotion. I'm very intrigued. I really now crave the modern packaging of Houbigant, but that is so expensive, but so luxurious. All right, now to a very expensive niche. Laurent Mazzone apparently can be found for considerable discount these days online. There was a time when you couldn't find it at all in the States. Then it appeared here and there for just exorbitantly crazy prices. It was just prohibitively expensive. But then I feel like when people started smuggling it into the country, I don't know how, now you can really find a lot of options that are more or less okay, you know, like within like $80 mark or so, maybe $90 mark. So I got the third bottle. If you're interested, we can talk about like what I think about this brand in general in some other video. So the third one by Laurent Mazzone that I own now is Eau de Soupirs. I'll put all the names in the description bar below. What I heard about it, this is like a really delicious, very interesting gourmand musk. Sounds interesting. I like gourmand musks. Sweet musks are something that I truly appreciate a lot. But to me, it has this kind of like wood polish note to it that is really distracting. It's complex, it's heavy, it's strong. I will need to give it a really good test run before I give you my full impression, but I was really happy to score it on Mercari. I'm trying to remember how much, maybe $60? I thought it was a steal for that price. And I keep trying to kind of like find some of the Laurent Mazzone fragrances are in such high regard by like perfume connoisseurs, but I can't find them online at all. Another one, this is probably the most expensive perfume that you're gonna see from me in today's haul. The House of Matriarch. The House of Matriarch is, first of all, an incredible brand that is composing one-of-a-kind combinations, and they often do limited editions because they source the ingredients, and sometimes they have a very limited amount of some ingredients, so they actually make it, it's like truly special edition, because when they ran out of some really rare musk that they purchased, you know, on some, you know, market or like inherited from someone or managed to acquire from a specific harvest, when it's gone, it's gone. So like every bottle of House Matriarch, it costs a fortune, but I've been circling around that brand forever, just like trying to somehow find a way in for that is still like budget friendly for my budget. So I found one from a perfume collector on Mercari, and it was not cheap, but it was not as expensive. House of Matriarch fragrances can easily cost $300. So the one that I bought completely blindly, I just checked the notes and I saw there was on a reasonable discount, so I just had to. I didn't have to anything, but I jumped on it. So this one is called Madrona. So this is a spicy lavender. It's strange how lavender, being so ubiquitous in our lives, it's such a polarizing ingredient in fragrances. Some people love it and some people can't stand it. Woo, man. Everything that I heard about the House of Matriarch is true. Like their perfumes are, it's like reading a trilogy by Lev Tolstoy. It's just like so much, so complex, so multidimensional, and usually pretty strong. Madrona, I feel some nuttiness in it, at least that's my first impression. I wouldn't say that this is like a mono lavender fragrance, and they usually don't make any kind of mono anything. So they really adhere to the classic concept of making perfumes, that the perfume is a whole composition. It's not just a body spray that is based on lily or gardenia or this or that. So all of their compositions are very sophisticated, and they have a lot of dimension and a lot of opening change. Like they change a lot through time, which is these days pretty rare in perfumes, be it designer or niche. Definitely, okay, long story short, that needs a study, like a proper study, and probably its own video, because there's so much in it and it changes through time that I will be doing Madrona a disservice if I try to give it a mini review just after getting my hands on it. So yeah, probably at this point, this one of the most expensive bottles in my collection if you look at the retail value. The next one was so cheap that I bought myself a backup because I already have a bottle. This is L'Artisan Parfumeur Rapelle Toi. This is a beautiful gin cocktail fougère. This is a green, non-citrusy, but like even dense, opaque green scent. It has a lot of character. It has very decent longevity. Rapelle Toi to me is like one of the best fougères on the market that you now can find for a heavily discounted price if you hunt for it. It was just selling for, I want to say like $20 or $30 on Mercari, and I liked the posting and they're like, you have a bottle, you don't need another bottle. But then I saw it day after day, and then the seller discounted it again. I was like, okay, I just can't. This is a crime to even sell a perfume of that caliber for that cheap. I'll find a second home for it. I'll figure out what to do with those two bottles. I just had to. It's again I think it's a discontinued line, so they now have their line. I think you can see it on the background there somewhere in kind of like a more longer, elongated bottles. These ones are, I think, don't quote me on that, but I think they're discontinued, and I want them all. Needless to say, I'm a big fan of L'Artisan Parfumeur. From them, actually, my journey, my venture into the niche in non-mainstream perfumes, fragrances has started. So for me, I always hold like a huge part of my perfume library for L'Artisans, because I just have a soft spot for them. That said, let's continue. Oh my god, I'm so rambly today. I'm sorry. I need a cup of coffee. Anyway, that said, me being such a big fan of L'Artisan Parfumeur and this and that, I just can't bite the bullet and buy their Mimosa for the prices that I see online. I can't. If you're new to the world of L'Artisan Parfumeur, they used to be even sold in Sephora, which I will never forgive Sephora for kicking them off the shelves and replacing them with a bunch of like absolute random whatever, just you know, like body sprays basically, whatever. We're not talking about Sephora today because I have too much to say on the subject of Sephora. But L'Artisan Parfumeurs, if you start looking on secondary market, the range of prices that you'll see will be quite wide. Some of their perfumes like Mon Numéro 9, Mon Numéro 10, Mur de Masque, their Fig perfume, or like Le Ambre, they can be found really cheap. Sometimes even $40 for the smallest 30 ml bottle. And some of their perfumes you can never find on sale. Even more so, you can only find them with like triple like markup. And one of those perfumes is Mimosa Pour Moi. I hope I'm saying it correctly. It's one of the best, most realistic watercolor representations of mimosa smell on the market. To this day, it kind of holds the crown, and I really want it. I like mimosa, and I really wanted to try it for myself. Like, what's the best, the most realistic, the most elegant and light, you know, like lightly weaved mimosa scent that exists. Just can't find it for a reasonable price at all. So naturally enough, I started spending money instead of like shelling, kind of like spending money on the original. I started trying to find a more affordable replacement. One of those is I think this is a discontinued, the whole brand kind of like went off market. This is Commodity, that used to be niche perfume brand that was sold in Sephora till its very, very end. And at some point, Sephora, when they were going off market, it was discontinued down to maybe $60, which was really good considering how well balanced and well mannered their compositions are. But I found it even cheaper secondhand. So they also have a mimosa scent. So Commodity Mimosa. I got myself, let's see, 100 ml, very lightly used, for I want to say $40. And it is what I hope Aqua Allegorias would smell like. This is a lovely, charming, flirty, romantic, floral mimosa. But it's not the paragon. It's not the epitome of a mimosa, kind of like headspace of the flower. It's charming. It's perfect for spring. If you can find basically any commodity scents, if you can find them for 50 minus, really good buy. Because this is basically a niche perfume house for the prices of mainstream or even affordable perfumes. They are always very elegant, that I can guarantee you. There's almost no, I can't think of one commodity perfume that would be annoying, cloying, too much, cheesy, or any kind of like kitschy. They are all very, very, very kind of a classy, I would say. The Commodity Mimosa is perfect for the end of spring, early summer, or cold summer. Just delightful, delightful. But it's not the best Soliflor on Mimosa. I'm sure you can relate to how I feel when you want the Mimosa. I want the Mimosa. I want the L'Artisan one. Okay, all right, anyway. But I got that. And a subscriber of mine, I'm just gonna briefly mention that, gave me a Scentbird decant of Carner Barcelona, which is another, this is what designer brands should smell like, in my not so humble opinion. Carner Barcelona is a Spanish niche brand that, again, in some online outlets you can find for reasonable prices. Reasonable, I mean around $60-70. The Tardes by Carner Barcelona. First, I actually got it. Yeah, I think I bought it just from Scentbird, sort of on a regular basis as my subscription. Fell in love with this powdery, slightly like it's like a sugar powder sprinkled on top of souffle of almonds. Almonds here are divine. Just it's almond souffle with sugar powder on top. This is the best way I can describe it. I love Tardes. I used up the whole decant, then I got myself a bottle. I was hunting it down. That was the time when not many people knew about Carner Barcelona here in the States. So I'm sad to say I paid like over $100 for this. This is 50 ml. So it's probably one of my most favorite almond perfumes when it comes to like soft souffle like almonds, you know, like gourmand without being smothering or sticky sweet. This is beautiful. It's like parfait. And a subscriber of mine, when we were at the meetup, she gave me her decant by Scentbird because she prefers like a much more powerful and strong scent, but I absolutely love it. So this is going to straight to my purse. And I just wanted to mention it because if you're looking for a sweet, soft almond scent, this is it. This is the one to get from Scentbird. This is absolutely, it's just like, If you're looking for that perfect moment of sitting in a beautiful, trendy cafe, having your almond croissant with latte, Tardes by Carner Barcelona is your companion through these days, especially when you're having that beautiful cafe moment in your own kitchen. Love it. Absolutely love it. I talked about it to death on my other channel, but I feel like I didn't really mention it often enough here. So you know, if you were curious, my favorite almond scent, Tardes by Carner Barcelona. So very happy to get an extra decant of that, and highly recommend you to explore the Scentbird because they have exquisite selection of niche brands there. Okay, I'm gonna make a short break because the next batch of perfumes that are sort of hyperluxe and niche, they will take some time. These ones I was just craving. I was hunting them for over a year. If you're curious about the olfactory libraries, if you want to make sense of all of these diverse combinations of affordable, designer, luxury, hyperluxe, niche fragrances, please subscribe to my channel. There's way more coming in the very nearest future. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.